guys good? Okay, let's meditate. So please relax your face, forehead, eyes, corners of your mouth. Pull in your tummy slightly. Then please come to your breath. Start watching your breath. Let's watch exhales again. First part of the exhale. Pause, then first part of the exhale, then the duration of the exhale, and then the end of the exhale. Let's watch 3 parts of your exhale. one good thing you've done today or yesterday. So please bring to mind, maybe a few different things will come to mind, but please focus on one good thing you said to someone, or one good thing you did for someone, or sometimes we can have particularly noble thoughts or extraordinary thoughts or visions come in your mind. Please choose one from the ones in the last 24 hours. Good karma. And please focus on the person towards whom you did this good thing. It's usually somebody else. It could be ourselves, but normally someone else. Focus upon that person. Now I'd like you to try to remember where you first met that person. What was the first time you saw this person or spoke to them? Where were you? What year was it? What were the circumstances that you first met this person? And then please think of what you must have done to create them during that first meeting, if they are coming from your own mind, and if that person is coming from your own deeds, in the past, good or bad, then try to imagine what kind of thing you must have done in the past to meet this person towards whom you could do this good deed later. Bring in all the laws of karma. It should have been something similar. You must have been like them. You must have been doing things like they are. It must have been smaller. It must have been long ago. Try to come to a feeling that the reason you met them wasn't accidental. You created them. And then you met them. And think about the power of the good thing you did with them. Think of what it might cause in the future. And take a moment to direct that karma to something, to some goal that you have in mind. Take that karma that you made, small seed, this last day or two, and send it into the future with a dedication or an intention that it should cause some good thing. Try to imagine something good that it might cause. And slowly come back to this room. Come back, you wiggle your fingers, stretch. Open your eyes. Bridget from Munich München gave me a nice gift. She used to do hang gliding, like 5,000 feet in the Alps. And if the thing fails, you die. And So I got her to, she gave that up. But this is the key to her motorcycle. And she got rid of that. So, yay. Not as much fun, but you live longer. Okay. The Dharma teachers have to live longer. Okay. You can take up bicycling or surfing. It's safer. Except in Australia. Okay. All right. I thought before we got to the actual material, which is the 12 what? It's the kind of 12 parts of Loa Gomlam. What's that? Loa Gomlam. Yeah, dedication after. Yeah, after seeing emptiness or meeting God directly. Okay, so there are 12 elements to that, which we're going to go over. But I thought I would catch you up on a few points from last course because they will be on the homework that you have to do. Okay? And it's kind of a nice review of what we just did before this. Okay? So here we go. I'm just going to read some homework questions and make sure you know what it's all about. And then you're going to talk about them in your review groups. Okay? Number 1. See how far we are. Maybe we didn't cover this. Can you look up a Tibetan word in the thing? Just search for it. D-N-G-L-U-L. D-N-G-U-L. Next one. Again. No, I mean just hit return. Yeah. No, again. Yeah. No. Again. 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 Yeah. Have we gotten there yet? 117. Is that before or after where we are? It's after where we are now? Yeah, it is after. Okay. Then I don't have to catch you up on homework. You didn't get there yet. Good. Okay, let's just start the class then. So I'm going to take you through the... No, I'm sorry, we did do that. Yeah. Okay, I do have to cover that with you. But leave it there, okay? This is something we had last time, but I just want to repeat it. This is a very cool idea about dedication, and a lot of people have asked me about it. So the word there and the one before it are say ser, ngul, ser ngul. Okay, ser means gold, and ngul means silver in Tibetan. And Pabongko Rinpoche is comparing your good karmas, the good thing you did, okay, whatever it was in your mind, okay? Do you have that bowl, like, next time? Did you get an email about a bowl? That, yeah, you were going to bring a glass bowl from Catherine. Does it have everybody's name in it? Not yet. Okay, on your way, during the break this afternoon, you're going to put your name on a small piece of paper and put it in the bowl. And this is something I invented in Sacramento, that major metropolis. Where are those Sacramentians? Yeah. To make sure people are listening, so I say, I'm going to pick a name out of the bowl and ask a question to this person, and then suddenly everyone is paying attention. And Ningbo told me it was a bad idea, and it was mean to pick on people, but I think it's good. Okay. So anyway, what I would pick out of the bowl now would be to ask you what was a good deed you thought of. And if I ask you a question like that, it's only if you don't mind sharing it. If you do mind sharing it, then it's okay that you don't share it. But for me, it was something I did in China. Okay, like I set up some kind of thing in China, and then so that's a raw material. Okay, that's like a lump of silver or gold. That's the point of this line. It's like an ingot of gold or silver, and then you can decide what you make from it. Okay, and the example here, of course, is making a Buddha statue, or a Tara statue, or a Vajrayogini statue, or what is this deity? Uh, oh man, what is this deity? Do you know? Is it Shiva? Oh, okay, cool. So Mike just gave me a Shiva. And I don't know. That's so heavy to bring from India, man. Then you can decide. You can. That's intention. Intention will decide what you make from the lump of gold or silver. You see, you have a lump of gold or silver, and then you decide what you make out of it. And you can do the same with your good karmas. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's very sexy. Okay? You don't have to just sit by passively while that good karma ripens. You can mold it and you can shape it to your own ends, you see? And it's very cool. You know, if someone teaches you the process properly, then you can take a good karma and redirect where it's going to go. So what he's saying in the example here, what he's saying in the scripture, is that you can shape it like a lump of gold or silver. So think about the good karma you did that you were meditating on, okay? And just be aware that you can send it, like if you're organizing something in Mexico, you made a film and you want it to be nice, like you want the reception to be successful, and you can start working on that now. You can rent a venue, you can, make the last finishing touches on the film, you can call all your friends, and then you can send all your karmas there for about a month. You see what I mean? Every good thing you do, you can start now, ahead of time. You can start a month ahead to make sure it's a successful opening, right, of your movie. So you can start redirecting your karmas. You see, it's very cool. It's a very cool process, all right? So we'll be working on that during this course, how to redirect your seeds towards the things that you want something nice to happen, okay? You can learn how to do that. And that's the point of this line. Okay, next. Look for the word from that point. Can you click on that point and then look up KHROD? I think KHROD. Now you're going to have to go backwards, I think. No, KHROD. Add an R after the H. Next. Go backwards. Dang. Oh well, I'll just tell you. The question in the homework is, what mild complaint about his life does Pabon Rinpoche make concerning the act of dedicating good karmas, and how does it apply to us? Then he kvetches a little bit. He makes a complaint, and he says, you and I must have dedicated our past karmas in our past life to learning and teaching the Dharma, because we are swimming in it all the time. You know, he came from Sera Monastery. He came from the best college of Sarah Monastery, which is what? Sarah May. And then he came from the best house in the best college, which is Gyalrong, okay? Which is our house, which is your house, okay? You are members of Gyalrong house, okay? Since we're learning together. Then he said, here we are in Sarah Monastery in May College in Gyalrong house, and all day long, all we do is meditate, debate, learn scriptures, get amazing instructions. We must have dedicated a lot of past karma to make this happen. And then he's whining a little bit, and he says, I wish we had dedicated more to being alone in a quiet retreat valley somewhere, and, doing a long retreat together, or, he's kind of whining about it, because he was so busy, and he was teaching thousands and thousands of people, and he had a rita, he had a hermitage up above Sarah, and it was a cave, and they took adobe blocks and they built out the front of the cave, and he lived there for a while, and it's still there. You can still go see it. So I think the application to us is that he's expressing that we should do more retreats also, that we can't just study all the time. And it's good to study, it's good to do tours of the world and teach people and make people happy. But then we have to have our quiet time, and we have to go into retreat sometimes. It can be a 3-day retreat, it's fine. It can be a 7-day retreat, and it can be a 3-year retreat. It just depends on you. And that's what we're trying to do with Diamond Mountain. So the kitchen was very important. We worked very hard to get the kitchen, and I think that will allow Diamond Mountain to become a place where people from many countries can just come. Like, you have a place there. You have a cabin there. Certain people built them for us. And so you have a place to come. Okay, after April, when what do you call that? No, what do you do? Like, there's a clam on a rock and you pry them. Yeah, after we pry them out of their cabins, we will have places for you. And then I want to put a seed in your mind. Okay, you can come by yourself. You can come with 3 friends. You can come with 10 friends. There's 29 cabins there. 30, if you count the other houses, there's 30 places to do long retreat. And now there's food, because he'll probably cook all the time. If you don't mind pizza every day. No, just kidding. He's got bigger range than that. So think about it. I'm just putting a seed in your mind. This is an important part of our lives, to do the tours and to study together and things like that. But you also should do your solo retreats. Or you could take 3 friends or 5 friends and go do a retreat together. And it doesn't have to, I'm not sure 3 years is such a good idea. I'm not going to tell them, but I think a year is probably better. But definitely a week, a silent week. Whatever your occupation is. When I was in the heaviest part of my corporate life, big corporate life, I would go take a week off or 2 weeks and do a retreat. And it so energized my corporate life. It made my corporate life fantastic, because then I would have all these ideas and come back, and I'd be fresh, and I'd have silence in my mind, and then I could see things that other people couldn't see. In business or whatever you do, you can do it better if you take a week off once in a while. And you sleep for the first 3 days, and if you're in the same corporate life that I was in, and then you have wonderful things happen to you. So anyway, I'm just encouraging you. And that's what he's trying to say. Send some of your seeds to your week-long retreat at Diamond Mountain a year from now. Okay? I'm encouraging you to do that. Okay? All right. I'm calling it a retreat resort. And we'll talk more about that. But it's gonna be cool. All right. Uh, you guys all know the answer to question 3. The act of dedicating our good seeds is meant to protect them from what? Anger. Yeah. In answering, please refer to a famous Buddhist classic. Yeah, it's the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And in there he describes that you can lose thousands of years of karma by being angry at a bodhisattva, okay? And there's different levels of bodhisattvas, and you lose more, you get larger deductions from your debit card depending on who they are. And unfortunately, we never know who's the bodhisattva. So we can't get angry at anybody if we want to protect our good seeds. Okay, that's the idea. Yeah, okay, that catches us up to now. Okay, so now that was the first half of the 4th homework, which brings you up to now. Okay. Here we go on the 12 parts. I'm just going to read it for you. Can you please search for YONGS space SU. Let's keep going, Yongsu. That's good. Then please go down a little bit. Scroll down. More. More. Yeah, that yellow part at the top. Good, stop. Okay, here we go. Yongsu Ngowa Kepa Chen. Where is that? De Chepa Choyino, Deni Mingmen Number Chen. Chenjimalo Tenido. Den dang Sange Sinam Tsok. Rajan Dembe Chu Chen. Tapche Tema Mepa dang. Sange Jesu Yuran dang. Kamsun Topa Mayan dang. Chun dang Ding dang. Chembo Yingoa Sheni Nam Sum Bo. Sunam Chembo Jung Dagni dong soon. Okay, those are the 12 kinds. Let's talk about them. I went and got you a commentary, all right, on them. What was that commentary? Oh, by Choni Lama, okay, who wrote the Diamond Cutter commentary, all right? He's a great scholar from Amdo, East Tibet, and he's good for us because he had sort of a Western mind, and he described things in Western terms. It's a little bit easier for us to understand. So he broke out those 12 and he explained them. So I'm going to go through those 12. What are they of? 12 things about what? Dedication by a person who has seen emptiness directly, okay? Probably it's good to start now if you haven't seen emptiness directly. Why not, okay? Okay, number 1. Can you go down some more to... Can you scroll down some more? Keep going. Keep going. Oh no. Yeah, the other way. Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, stop at that one. Okay. Chepa chotan deming owadang. Chepa chok means, these are my own notes, okay? So sorry for that. So let's say that in a common example for DCI, in DCI we're trying to help people be successful in their daily life. And a lot of people ask us about relationships. So I want to find my soulmate, or I want to find the partner of my dreams, you know. And then we tell them, the joke in China, you know, we ask them, should you go online to find them, or should you go on matchmaking TV? So in China, when you want to find a boyfriend, you turn on these special, what do you call those things? Private channel TVs? What do you call that? Like cable. Yeah, you turn on cable TV and there's like 45 dating shows. And there'll be a boy with 12 girls, or 12 boys and 1 girl, and then they'll grill the boys. And then at the end of the show, they give you all the boys' email addresses. And then you contact the one that you're interested in, you know. And so the joke in China was, if you wanted to find your soulmate, should you go online on a dating site, or should you, like somebody we know did, who succeeded wildly, and or should you? Can I tell people that? No. I just did, actually. Anyway, they met. They just got married. I just performed their wedding, and they met on a nice dating site. So should you go on a dating site, or should you go on a matchmaking cable TV show? And then the punchline is you should go where? To a nursing home. Okay. Yeah, you should go to a nursing home. Are you okay? Is it any way to cool the room down? Because they're gonna get sleepy on me. Let's do that. You walk around and disturb us and open up something to make it cooler. Okay. So if you go to a nursing home, you will make a karmic seed. And then you will meet the person because you create them. Okay. You will create your soulmate, right? Right? She did it. I'm going to show you a photo later, maybe tonight. There was a wedding on the stage of the second night of Open Talks in Singapore this trip. Okay, there was a wedding on the stage, and the two people used the diamond cutter. They used these seeds. They didn't know each other, and they both used the seeds. And then they met each other, and they got married on the stage. And the judge was there, this old Chinese judge, and the parents came, and everybody was crying, and it was kind of cool. It was a great advertisement. But anyway, and I didn't ask, okay? They set it all up. I didn't, it wasn't my idea. I'm trying to say it wasn't my idea, okay? But they tried it, and they met somebody. Now, you could hear this thing go through the audience. There was 900 people there. You could see like 150 ladies going, and guys, and you had this distinct feeling during the wedding of many people thinking about a nursing home. I could sense it in the room, in this big theater. I was like, so many people are thinking about the closest nursing home, and that's called Chepa Chok. Okay, that's the law. Chepa Chok means Ningbo's got me reading. What do you call that? Hawking. Stephen Hawking, about the creation of the universe. Because I'm writing a book called A Better History of Time. And I might work with a Chinese physicist on it. There's a Nobel Prize Chinese physicist, so we might work on it together. But anyway, and there's a theory in physics, okay, that just one theory. I don't know how much support it has, but that things. The universe, just before the Big Bang, there was an infinitely massive piece of stuff, and it's the size of your thumbnail, okay, and infinitely the mass of it was infinite, and then it blew up, and it became the universe that we know, and there was a big, why they called the Hubble telescope, why they named it after Hubble. Like, he discovered that the universe is still expanding and stuff is still moving away from that explosion point, which is why the calculations get messed up for certain orbits and stuff, because everything's still moving. And so these physicists believe that at that moment, just before the Big Bang, there were slight anomalies in the stuff. Like, there was a tiny bit more stuff on the left side than the right side, and there was a little scratch on the thing, and and then it blew up, and then it wasn't an even distribution of cosmic dust, so some of it clumped together. That's their idea. And then that created the planets, and that created the stars. These tiny imperfections in the entire mass of the universe, collected in the size of a thumbnail, after the explosion of the thumbnail, created clumps of stuff, because otherwise there would just be evenly spread cosmic dust throughout the universe. And they really believed that. Sometimes I feel like I'm explaining the theories of the Sioux Indians in the 14th century, but anyway, they believed that. So but it strikes me, the vision of it strikes me. That Hawking believes that. So the vision of it strikes me that on a subatomic level, a little piece of something was a little bit farther to the left, and that created our galaxy. You see, after the explosion, that, particle being a micron to the left created our whole galaxy after the expansion. You see what I mean? And it's still going. Whole galaxies have been created from a sneeze. And because someone sneezed this way, there's more galaxies, and it's true. Physically, it's true. And you can date the universe from the momentum and the positioning of the stars. So it's kind of interesting. Karma's the same way. You got to get that feeling. Karma's the same way. Chepa Chok means when you do something like go to a nursing home or direct a karma to your film opening, okay? Don't stop there, okay? Don't stop there, because karma expands much greater than that, okay? Karma will expand. Anything you do, good or bad, will have repercussions in 50 years in your life. Make huge things in your life, okay? The tiny things you do now will be huge events 10 years or 20 years from now, So don't just go to a nursing home. When you dedicate the seed, right? When do you dedicate seeds? What's a good time to dedicate seeds? Yeah, just before you go to bed, you can do coffee meditation, right? I gotta send that to Scott. Where's that? I got a secret for you. Where is that? This is cool. Sorry, I discovered the camera on my phone. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I didn't make this up either, they did. This is in Malaysia. Okay. I sent it to Scott or to Tim? Which worked last time? To me. Yeah. Okay, it's coming. If you do something nice, and when you dedicate it on your pillow before you go to bed, then try. Step number one of a person who has seen emptiness directly is they don't fool around. Okay? They're not thinking of having visited the nursing home. They're thinking about what happens if I get a partner at the nursing home and then 10 people see that, and they all go to the nursing home, and then each of them is seen by 10 people, and then each of them is seen by 10 people, and they think of galactic repercussions of anything they do. They don't dedicate the current condition of the karma. They dedicate what it will be after the universe explodes. Okay? So think about that. Don't think about one film. Think about the 30 films they're going to have in your filmography on Wikipedia in 20 years, after Ang Lee makes the film with you. They're going to think big, when you dedicate something, don't think about what it's going to be, and don't think about what it is now, okay? Think about what the seed's going to be, because it will be, because that's how karma, when you think about how karma grows, I fear that some people think about seeds doubling or tripling. It ain't like that. It's like a subatomic particle after 30 billion years. Think about that, okay? Try to think on those terms. Try to think on that scale. Don't think I made a trip to China, Think the one country which will most decide the direction of this planet in the next 50 years is gonna be working on diamond cutter principles. Think like that, Yeah, so that's like an 8-foot high poster that they had in. I thought it was cute. They did that in Malaysia. Okay, so learn the coffee meditation. Okay, and think big. Think galactic. Okay, don't think I hope 30 people come. Don't think like that. Okay. All right. That's Chepa Choktan Dembe. That's the first way in which a person who's seen emptiness thinks about their good karmas. Okay. Number 2. Ngoi ze la denshen gopa mingmekin number shingi ngo. This gets into the 3 spheres. I asked Mercedes to cover it in her talk on what day? Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? It involves the person towards whom you do a karma, it involves the person doing the karma, and it involves the karma that was done. Okay? Those 3 things. So, number 2 means when an Arya, when a person who has seen emptiness, thinks about the good karma they did, and they focus on which of the 3 spheres? Ngoedze means you can say the deed itself, okay? The action. Alright? Bonnie, do you mind, Bonnie? What was your good deed? Roughly. You don't have to tell the details if you... Okay, so I was helping someone to keep pure view. And then you think about the interaction. You dedicate the interaction. So you were with somebody, or you were online with somebody, or you were in a coffee shop with somebody, or you were in a car with somebody, and you had a conversation. And then you were trying to change how they viewed something. The fact that you met each other, okay? So whatever good deed you were thinking of just now in your meditation, the fact that you met that person in the first place, that you ever met them, don't think of it, mikmei means what? Yeah, without seeing them as accidental or as coming by random, okay? Mikmei means, what is that in yoga? It's called niralambana, okay? It's a headstand with no arms. Dharmamitra does it, right? That's a niralambana shirshasana, right? Headstand with no support. And what it means in Buddhism is no support means no object that you're focusing on. They don't exist. Who's they? The fact that you ran into this person doesn't exist. What's that mean? It wasn't an accident. An accidental meeting never happened. That's emptiness. That's niralambana. That's mingmei. But you met somebody. You met a person who is coming from you. Okay? So appreciating where the meeting came from and then dedicating the karma is a deeper kind of dedication. If you want to get more mileage out of the same good deeds, try to remember where did it come from? How did you meet this person that you did the good deed with? Okay? How did you bump into them? Where did it come from? And try to understand that it wasn't an accident. You ran into a person who had a certain view for a reason. Okay? And that has to do with something you did before. Okay? The fact that you ever saw this person, I got a Charlie horse. Okay, that's okay. I wonder why I did that. The fact that you met this person is not an accident. And the fact that you meet someone who needs something reflects something in yourself. So think about that. And then when you dedicate the karma, it will be more powerful. Okay? So we're talking about stuff. These 12, where are you going to do them? On your bed, okay, as you lay there at night, rather than worrying about your problems or your finances, or, think about your good deeds and dissect them. And the more you dissect them, the more clear the karmic seed becomes. So most people don't need to do more good deeds. They just need to do seed farming better. They need to do better, maintenance of their seeds. And just thinking about a seed clarifies it and makes it more powerful, okay? You can have a better film and a better opening by laying on your bed and doing these 12 things. Got it? It's cool. And I had this thing occur to me on the stage in Singapore or something. I was like, that's odd. The best way to make a karma powerful is also the most pleasant. And then I was like, why is that odd to you, Geshe Michael? You know, what kind of... We grew up with this Christian Judaic thing that you have to suffer to be happy, and then I was like, why do I think like that? Why do I think I have to suffer to earn happiness? You know, like, why can't it be that just being happy about something is the most powerful karma there is? You know, and then I was like, duh. You know, that kind of makes sense, that the happiest practice should be the most powerful. You know, we feel guilty to lay on our beds and make a karma that changes China or something. But maybe that's okay. You know, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, I'm just proposing. All right, let's do one more and then we'll take a break. How's that? Kanki ngoa chepe sem chinji malope tseni chengi ngoa. So we covered how you met the person, right? That you did the good deed with. But then we should cover you, the person who did the deed. In this case, it's a state of mind, okay? What was your state of mind when you met the person and did the good deed, okay? And that's Chinji Malokpa. What's Chinji Malokpa? Do you guys know? Chinji Malokpa. What's that line in the Yoga Sutra? Oh, sure. What is that line? Nitya, Nitya. It starts like that. How's it go? Nitya, Nitya. There's 4 Chinji loks. There's 4, excuse the English, but it's ass backwards thoughts. Chinji lok means ass backwards. And the classic example in the Yoga Sutra and in Buddhist scriptures, you see things that change as being unchanging. You see things that are suffering as being pleasure. What's the other 2? You see things that are unclean as being clean. And then there's one more, I forget it. Saucha, Shaucha, Drashta. I think, yeah. Anyway, you can look it up. So you engage in a good karma with more knowledge than you used to. Okay, I'm going to go to the nursing home, and it's an exercise in seed planting. I'm changing reality. I'm designing reality. You got to be like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Okay, so I'm not just visiting the nursing home. I'm redesigning reality. Okay, you got to think like that. Don't think small in the result you're looking for, and don't think small in how you view the situation. You are shifting reality. You know, I mean, you know that scene? You have that on there? Nah. Yeah? When you have time, find it and play it. Tell me when you have it. I don't know. Where he stops the bullets in midair, you know. Like he's messing around with reality. And that's what you're doing. And it should be more conscious. You should be more conscious about it, okay? When you dedicate a good karma to your film opening or something like that, or whatever it is, you know, you want Christine's mother to be, you want the operation to be more successful, then you can send the karmas there now. But don't be wimpy about it, you know. Say, I'm adjusting reality. Okay, she had an obstruction in her lower intestines, but I'm adjusting it. You know, we're adjusting the situation, you know, and send your karma. Be, what do you call it? Be, what do you call that? Think. Have some chutzpah. Okay, yeah. Like, think big. I'm adjusting reality. That's number 3. Okay. Huh? Yeah. The bullet scene. If you have the whole movie on there, maybe we should just cancel the class. Let's do one more. I'm not tricking you, but it goes well. Ngoa dundam dember embe. Ngoa po. Say ngoa po. Ngoa po. Dundam par. The next word is sexy. It's D-B-E-N. Emba. 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 Okay. Emba tokpe shirab ki simbe ngoadang. As you dedicate the good karma, appreciate the fact that the person who did the good karma, who is who? It's you, yeah. You're also coming from your own mind. Okay? Like, get used to that. Okay? Who put this person here to do this good deed? I did. Good job. Good job. Who flew Geshe Michael to Beijing? Was it the cheapest Chinese airline there is? No. I got myself there. You know, I created the karma. I put myself there. Okay? I created the opportunity. Got it? The person who did the karma, I also invented them. You know, and then you can be happy. In the case of dedicating a good karma, that's always a pleasant thing, right? I made Uta to be standing there to help this person. I made Uta to meditate on Christine's mom today, you know, and I made an Uta. My past deeds created an Uta who cares about Christine's mom, and then you can be glad about that. And then you're just getting extra interest on the same investment, right? Okay, like, I'm a good person, and I even invented this good person, you know, because I was a good person before. So that's why I have Uta to do a nice thing for Christine's mom, you know, and that's cool. So you should appreciate the person who did the karma is coming from you. And the person to whom the karma was done was created by you also. And the interaction, the meeting of the two was created by you also. So take credit in your mind, and the karma will be more powerful. Okay? These are ways to make karmas more powerful. You don't have to live in a small world. You can make big things happen. Okay? Frankly, for us to be sitting in the Forbidden City, in Tiananmen Square, after, well, how many years in China? I don't know, 2 years? That's weird. Something's happening, right? Some karmas are at work. It's weird. It's impossible. Okay? You ready? Did you find it? Okay, go. And then we'll take a... that's cool. That's not the part. I want the bullet part. That's not the... Is it before the bullet part? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that was a good part too, actually. Okay. You can mess around with your reality. Okay? Well, you can do it. Okay? Just think like that. When you think about your karmas. So dedication isn't this like wimpy thing when you're like, oh, Sangye Choran, you know, like, you should think big. Think awesome. I don't know how to make people do that, but think bigger than that, okay? All right, let's take a break. Start, and he'll figure it out. Johnny will figure it out. You yell.
My question is this: doing the before bedtime meditation can create lung, and I have a problem.
Oh, I see. And then you have trouble sleeping.
Well, then it's like I've had a pot of coffee.
Yeah. You're too wired.
And so what has happened is just like avoiding it.
Okay.
Because I know what's going to happen, and it's almost like instant. It's almost like something goes, whoosh, and then.
Does anybody else have that problem? I don't know. Yeah? Like when you think about good things you did just before you go to bed? It's funny because it has the opposite effect on me. It's that's the emptiness of like I'm like, what good thing did I anybody have a suggestion? Anybody have any suggestion? Do it when you wake up? That might be, yeah, that's maybe a good idea. You want to try that in the morning?
I thought the
Yeah.
idea is to take it into your sleep so that
Yeah, that would be nice if you can.
yeah.
Anybody else have any idea, a suggestion?
Coffee part is fingertip.
Yeah, yeah, it's herbal. It's herbal tea or something I learned in 3-year retreat was mint tea is good for when you go to bed because you don't have to pee pee after that. Yeah.
I heard left nostril breathing is very relaxing.
Any other ideas?
What about just dedicating right after you did it?
Yeah, that's okay. I think what happens is, I think what you're saying is that by reviewing an event of the day, you get riled up again. Right? Yeah, or you start thinking too much.
Yeah, it activates.
Yeah, yeah. You have a suggestion for her, or you just have a question?
No, for her.
Okay, go.
Like maybe just get more dreamy and still about like one part of the action instead of moving around like all the events, but just like focusing on like your
So
favorite
slow
part.
it down.
A suggestion?
I have the same problem. I usually I set a time for it, and then when I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop thinking about it now because I would think and think and think. It'd be like 3 in the morning. So I make a decision to stop thinking about it, and then I count my breaths.
That's not what it is. It's not like my mind just keeps working. It's actual physical loom.
Oh, she gets anxiety stuff.
But counting your breaths, have you tried that? I mean, it helped me a little bit.
Yes, and actually that can help sometimes.
Did you have anybody? Paulina, you have an idea?
You like right in the morning when you take refuge, then you open the good karma and you review the last day, all good karma.
Okay, yeah. She's trying to cash in on the sleep thing, though. She's trying because the seed will multiply while you're asleep. Did you have an idea, Nicole? Talk louder.
When I was thinking about, you thinking about the things at night, sometimes I'm so tired that I really can't zone in on it really tight. So I just started keeping a journal and writing down cool things, and then focusing maybe on 1 or 2 for that night, the biggest ones. And then I'd have, a list of other things, and then the next day, if I wanted to work with it, I could work with it. But I like to write them down and keep a journal, and it helps me. So I don't think and
Yeah.
or they're really not that strong, and I just kind of fall asleep, and they weren't really, because a concentration of thinking about something like that can bring on lung.
And keep you awake.
Yes.
What would be a way to use the 4 steps? What would be a karmic way to deal with this? Help someone else who what? Yeah, or has lung? That, I mean, ultimately, it's the Shi Sampajora Tortu, which the Guadalajarians are the experts of. Your T-shirt is all over Beijing, This T-shirt. Everybody in Beijing has your, yeah. No, the Shi Sampajora Tortu. That was designed in Guadalajara. It's all over. The whole Beijing retreat had it. Each person had it on. So let's try that. Decide you don't want lung when you're going to bed. Find someone else who has an anxiety problem. Yeah, take them out for more coffee. Let's make it herbal tea. And then think about that in the morning. Okay, let's try that. Try that. I'm thinking that. Any other questions? General questions? Yeah, Mr. Eddie.
Is there a scripture that talks about how quickly the karma ripens and how you can make it ripen in a day or a week or a month? A sutra?
I'll check. I mean, I'm using this text. We had it in this text. In Guadalajara, I think. They talked about how it multiplies and things like that. A scriptural source for that. I'll have to think about it. Let me explain something that happened, okay? Lord Buddha taught 500 BC, and then nobody wrote it down, and they just. But the audiences in those days had the capacity to memorize what he said as he said it. So people think that we're more advanced, but according to Buddhism, we're not. We need machines to remember things, and they didn't have them, and they just memorized what he said. And then afterwards, they had 3 great councils, and major disciples of the Buddha would say, "Dike daki duba tuchina, ekasmin samaya." What's that, Shruti? How's that go? What's that mean? Once I heard this once, and that means that this is being recited by someone who heard him teach. Like the Heart Sutra is being recited by somebody at one of those meetings. The first wording, it means I heard this. So then afterwards, there was a weird thing happened right after that. For 600-700 years, Buddhism went into a serious decline. Right after the Buddha, the people don't know about that. Those were dark times, strange times in the world. Like Buddhism, especially the emptiness teachings, went into a serious decline. And then people pasted together a system based on his teachings, which was called Abhidharma. Okay, so Abhidharma came to be, and people, including I think Shariputra, they pasted together his teachings into kind of an encyclopedia, and that was called Abhidharma. And in there, the 4th chapter of the most important. I think there are 7 books on Abhidharma, but the most important one is called Abhidharma Kosha, which I would like to teach next April when the retreatants come out. I've never taught it, and I did it for 12 years with Rinpoche. So, but in there, in the 4th chapter, they talk about how to multiply the seeds, and how to make the seeds grow faster. But constantly in this book, Pabong Rinpoche is talking about it also. But he doesn't quote, he may not always, well, here he's quoting the sources from Maitreya, right? We're working from Maitreya. But the Abhidharma will have sources from Lord Buddha. So the 4th chapter, so my answer is the 4th chapter, the Abhidharma Kosha. Lele jikten nazoke, dini samba tandeche. Samba yiki le no, decheng lu dang ngaki le. Like that, it goes like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Distinction between the way that it's going on in their mind and an Arya Bodhisattva.
Oh yeah, good.
I noticed you kind of sprinkled in.
Oh, Bodhisattva. Yeah. That's a good point. So Rob's basic question is, we're talking about the path of habituation which occurs after you see emptiness directly. But it's possible to see emptiness directly without having universal love, bodhicitta. It's possible. And my example to my friends who ask me about it is a physicist, like a good physicist who understands the uncertainty principle, right? Who's that? Heisenberg will have deep insights into emptiness, and they can almost perceive emptiness. If you understood Heisenberg closely, you might be able to see emptiness with no intention to help the world at all. You just like want to blow up a city no, I don't. That's not serious. But it's possible without. So his question is my example of the first way of making this seed more powerful, which is to think of the ultimate implications of the repercussions on a galactic level of what you're doing. Is that restricted to bodhisattvas? Or what if you're not a bodhisattva? What do you think? I mean, the clue would be, where's this coming from? Where's this teaching coming from?
Well, it seems like an Arya would see the ramifications of it.
Yeah.
And then the Bodhisattva would see the ramifications of it, how it would change.
Yeah, how it would help the whole world. But remember the source that we're talking about. What's the source? Yeah, it's Abhisamankara. Maitreya didn't teach any Hinayana scriptures. All 5 books are Mahayana. Are they all Madhyamika? Yeah, they're not all middle way. Some of them are mind-only school. Okay? So in either case, anything Maitreya ever taught that we have is already assuming bodhisattvas. How's that? Okay. Maybe one more question if we have. Anybody? Anatole? Do it loud so people can hear.
I just have a question about, like, what is the word we use is mind in English, but in Buddhism, there seems to be an idea like, if this room blew up or something, nothing would happen to our mind. But then when we talk about yoga, we say if we drank a beer really quickly,
Yeah.
mind. So is it different words for mind, or
Okay, good question. So there's one idea of the mind as being immaterial and ineffable, cannot be weighed, cannot be divided, cannot be perceived with the physical senses, not possible. And it's hard to get a Westerner to divorce their idea of the brain from their idea of the mind. So anyone who grew up in the West, Mexico or US or, doesn't matter. We think of the mind as the brain, and we get confused between the mind and the brain. And you have to appreciate that in Buddhism, the mind is an ineffable light, effulgence. It's an ineffable awareness that is not physical at all. Okay? So you could detonate a nuclear weapon in this room in 5 minutes, and the bodies would all, what do you call it? There's a nice word for it. They would vaporize, yeah. And then nothing would happen to the minds. The minds would be sitting here, sleepy and wondering when the class is going to end. Nothing would happen to the minds at all. You okay? But then Anatole's question is cool because in the tantric teachings, we say lungsem jupachipa, right? The thoughts ride upon the prana. So there must be a connection between the body and the mind, right? And the scriptural references are two. One is if you drink alcohol quickly, the mind will become stupid. Your judgment will be impaired immediately. And you'll do stuff that you shouldn't do because your judgment is impaired. And I don't care who you are, and I don't care how much you say you can drink. Your judgment is impaired within 2 sips or something. The opposite is also true. If you have a lot of stress at work, and you're fighting with people at work or something, you have a lot of anxiety, or you've got to catch planes all the time, that affects your health. So obviously the mind affects the body, and the stuff in the body affects the mind. So there must be an interface. I like to think of it as an interface, like a computer interface. There must be some interface between body and mind, because those are two proofs that one affects the other and the other affects the other. So what is the interface? And Buddhism says the interface is inside the nadis, or the channels of your body, of your inner body, where the prana moves. And then as prana moves, it's like a horse, and then your thoughts ride upon that horse. So today I was very happy about the yoga class, and I thank Johnny O and Nick for bringing Danielle. Because now I have another yoga teacher that I can go, I can have a crush on another yoga teacher. Now there's so many great yoga teachers around, and it's so nice to have another one to go to for a really cool class. But what I was really happy about in the class was that it would make you guys better in my class. Because your prana is flowing, which means your mind is moving, because prana carries the thoughts, okay? And so I was trying to get her back later in the week, because that'll last for 2 days or something. Like, if you do yoga well, the prana moves in the channels, and then your mind is more bright and sharp during a class. And that's a big reason. We force all the teachers on a DCI tour, they're always required to go to they teach yoga, and then they have to, during lunchtime, they have to go to a very tough yoga class, a staff yoga class, and they kill them. And then they're all bright and happy, and they teach well. So Anatol's question is there a difference between the mind that you say rides upon the prana and the mind that you say is ineffable? Because how can that be? How can a thing that has no form ride upon a thing which has form? Because how can they touch? How can they make contact? What do you guys? Anybody have an idea? How can a thing which has no form support a thing which has? Be supported upon a thing that has form? How can you put nothing on a table? Say why? Why is their essence the same? I like the answer. They're made of what? Yeah, well, they're made of our projections, right? So they're both, whether a thing is physical or mental, it's still popping out of a karmic seed. In the end, it's a lucent image coming out of our mind. The substance of the mind from that point of view and the substance of the body from that point of view are the same. And I think that's a cool answer. I think they're both projections, and a projection can ride upon a projection. That's not a problem. And if one of the projections drank a lot of beer, the other projection could get affected. You see what I mean? So that's a good question. That's a really nice question. I used to struggle with that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The ineffable mind that's a projection is coming out of the other ineffable mind that's a
Yeah.
projection
Yeah. Yeah. Which is riding on some prana. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, let's do a few more points. We only have like 5 minutes, so do you have any announcements? Because I don't want to. You do? Let's do one more question and do announcements, and then we won't be late. How's that? One more question. Oh, I thought it was at 4. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's go to the text. We finished number 4, which is, by the way, when those of you learning Tibetan, when you add po to a word, it's like er in English. Okay, so ngoa means to dedicate, and ngoa po means dedicator. Okay? Okay. So number 4 was that the seed of directing your good karma today to your movie opening in a month, is it a month? Is stronger when you think about yourself as having come from your past good deeds. Okay, I did a good thing today, but the Osiris that did the good thing was popping out of my mind also. Okay, and that somehow that makes the whole thing more powerful. Okay, the seed ripens much faster. Muy fuerte. Okay, number 5. Rang dang sangye ki sinam dang yeshi ki tsoki rang shin din damba me mik patem bichu yu chengi ngoa. The act of dedicating your karma, recall it in the sense of being a banking exercise, right? You're putting the karma into a bank and protecting it from your relatives or whatever, and your anger, right? And in scripture, that process is often pictured as a metaphor of the good karma. The bank is all the good karma that was ever done by every enlightened being of the past, present, or future. That's a big bank. Okay? Like, it's not just some. You're not just dedicating it in general. You are protecting that good karma by dumping it into the ocean of every good karma ever done by an enlightened being in the universe. That's kind of awesome. That's a protected place. That place is safe. Okay? It's like, I want to protect this drop of water. I'll throw it in the Pacific Ocean. Think of it like that. Okay, so the karma is being placed into the collective good karma of every enlightened being in the universe. And that's a safe place to put it. Okay? It's kind of cool to envision it that way. But he goes a step further here. He says, Dun dampa me mikpa. Dun dampa me mikpa. What's that mean? It's migmei all over again. Not seen as dun dampa. What's dun dampa? Like dun dam demba. Yeah, ultimate or real. Okay? While you're thinking about the big fat ocean that you're throwing your drop of your tiny little wimpy good karma into, don't forget that that ocean itself is coming from you. That it gets really heavy, you know? Like, can't even the ocean of every good deed done by every enlightened being be by itself? Do I have to take care of that also? You know, do I also have to, is that also my problem? You know, and the answer is yes. Okay, it's coming from you. I mean, even that doesn't exist out there. Okay, and the more you appreciate that, the longer that ocean will last. Okay, that ocean itself is safer if it's understood properly. Got it? All right. So basically, all of these are boiling down to what? Emptiness. You see, they're all going to boil down to emptiness. It's why? Because we're talking about an Arya. Okay. How does an Arya feel about their good karma? How do they protect their good karma? How does an Arya direct their good karma to the movie opening? Okay. And we're trying to imitate them or something like that. Okay. If you haven't gotten there yet. Okay, number 6. Can you scroll down a little bit? Chinduk ki getsa dendamba mimi bangoi tapke don chebengo. What's tapkepa? Tapke. Skillful means in Sanskrit. Upaya. Who came that? Yeah, good. What's chinduk? What's paro to chimbaduk? Yeah, the 6 paramitas. Okay, the 6 paramitas. So getsa is a word you should learn. Okay, getsa right in number 6 there. Getsa, tsa means root, and ge means good karma, good seeds. And getsa, it means root of good deeds, but what it refers to is your storehouse of good karma. Okay, so getsa doesn't mean what it sounds like. It's not root of good deeds. It means your debit card, your karmic debit card of good deeds. Yeah, it's very similar to kunshi. Okay. Well, not every school accepts the word kunshi or the idea of kunshi. Okay. Alaya vijnana. Alaya vijnana. Okay. Yeah, I remember they used to call it virtue roots or something like that. By the way, the most common context of this word is getsa jomba, which means what? Like draw chomba. Destroying your getsa by what? Anger. Okay, so anger, specifically anger destroys your getsa, your storehouse of good karma. Okay, question? Oh, Kunshi number shepa alaya vijnana is a thing called storehouse consciousness, and so normally all Buddhist schools accept 6 consciousnesses, which are what? The 6 senses, right? And each one has a consciousness behind it. So the eye reports to the eye consciousness, and the nose reports to the nose consciousness, and stuff like that. But the mind-only school, which is the third of the 4 great schools of India, says that there are 2 more consciousnesses. One of them is called mental affliction consciousness, and one is called storehouse consciousness. And then they try to separate out a separate part of your mind where the seeds are stored. And then higher schools of Buddhism and even lower schools of Buddhism disagree with that. And so in a text, in a Lam Rim text, what's the school of the Lam Rim? Yeah, it's going to be highest madhyamika. It's going to be highest middle way. So they wouldn't accept kunchi. They wouldn't accept that it's necessary to posit a separate part of your mind where seeds are stored. That's all. They just think it's unnecessary. They're not against the idea, okay? They don't have a problem with the idea of a storehouse, but they object to having to create a whole separate part of your mind for it. Yeah, in this school you would say that that's a very delicate idea. Yeah, that the place where the karmas are stored is also coming from karma, and you don't get reborn. Your karma just keeps popping off. Okay, that's higher school. Okay, all right. Okay, so this means tapke here, skillful means refers to how you practice the 6 perfections. Okay, which are number 1, generosity. Number 2, ethical. Oh yeah, ethical way of life. Number 3, not getting angry. Number 4, being happy to do good stuff. Someone says, would you rather go to a movie or would you rather go to a nursing home? You're going to say, nursing home. I'll get more out of nursing home. Because then I'll have somebody to go to a movie with next week. 5, meditation. And 6, wisdom. Each one coming from you. And that's skillful means. I invented the perfection of generosity. I invented ethical lifestyle. You know, we got to a point in China, it was very awesome, with huge audiences. We got to this point where we were screaming out at them, so who wrote the Diamond Cutter Sutra? And they're like, we did. And okay. Anyway, that awareness makes the karma more powerful. Okay, whatever good deed you did that you were thinking about an hour ago, probably related to one of the 6 perfections. And then think about the emptiness of the perfection itself. Okay, that's all. Got it? All right. Is it a perfection if you don't practice it with an awareness of emptiness? No. Okay. Number 7. Kanki, kangtu, kangowe korsum. Please repeat. Kanki, kangtu, kangowe korsum. So I've been simplifying it for you, but let's make it more complicated. I've been expressing the 3 spheres as the person who did the good deed, the person towards whom they did the good deed, and the good deed that was done, or the interaction of them. I've been expressing it that way. But technically, at this point, we should be talking about the emptiness of the deed done in the past, and the emptiness of the goal towards which it is being sent, and the emptiness of the sender. So in Osiris's case, the emptiness of the person who made the film, the emptiness of the person, the emptiness of the successful opening of the film, and the emptiness of the action of sending it. Got it? That's the emptiness of the act of dedication. Okay, so the guy who made the film, the successful opening of the film, and him shooting the karma ahead, him, like, they call Pemba, right? They use the word for an arrow. Pemba the karma into the future, you know, say, I shoot this karma to September, whatever. Okay, so the emptiness of those 3 things is number 7, okay? So, Kanki means by whom. Kangdu means for what purpose in the future. And Kang means what are you shooting? I'm shooting, I was nice to somebody this afternoon. Okay? I'm shooting that stuff into the future. The gold, the silver. And I want it to be this. I want to craft it into a successful opening. Got it? Okay, so Kang, this is beautiful. By the way, there are very famous prayers in Tibet that start with Kanki. Kangi Lodu Dubni Dundel, okay, to Manjushri. They are special kinds of poetry that always, they're like, who is it that made the best movie? Who is it that had the successful movie? Who is it that shot the arrow into the future? It was me. You know, they have these poetry, it's a poetic, what do you call it? It's a genre of poetry in Tibet to have lines that start with, who was it? So this is a takeoff on that. What was it? Who was it that did something cool today that they are sending to something cool? And what was it that what good stuff is what person sending towards what future goal that they have? Got it? That's the real three spheres here, okay? All right, number 8. We're getting there. Den dampar mekyang tendel gumatabur shene. That's extremely important, okay? Say den dampar mekyang tendel gumatabur shene. It's funny because the people, I don't want to keep, my teacher got irritated with me. You keep talking about China like it's some superior planet. And I'm like, I don't know. They got irritated at me. But anyway, a lot of Chinese people think more clearly than we do. Because they haven't had the, I think it's because they haven't had the bombardment by advertising and television and movies. It's starting now. KFC is there. People in the large cities are getting overweight. People outside of the large cities are all extremely healthy and eat very well. And it's the American stuff, crap coming in, and I'm afraid it's going to hurt them. It is hurting them. But why am I mentioning that? Oh yeah. So we were talking to them and we were saying, what was that? Is everything coming from you? And they all yell out, yes. I got to show you this video of at the graduation in Beijing, they all said, let's do the moon song, you know, and we're all like, what's the moon song? And all these young ladies jump up like cheerleaders in front of the whole group, and they're like, let's go, 1, 2, 3, and they go, I saw the moon, I give it to you because I love you. And it goes on for like an hour, you know, and everybody knows the arm movements, you know, and these ladies are leading everybody in the arm movements. And so we asked them, they're so innocent in a way, and the press makes them out to be these demons, you know. It's really weird. But anyway, so you ask them, is the world coming from you? And they say, yeah. And then you say, is it real nonetheless? Okay? Can we say the world is coming from me, but it's still real? Okay? This cup of water is coming from me, but it's still real. I can drink it, you know? You know? Can you say that? Yeah. And in the monastery, you'll get hit. They'll hit you with a rosary. They'll whip you with a rosary. It's no fun. Why?
It's because it's coming.
Yeah, you didn't go far enough. You didn't go far enough, okay? And the Chinese get it right away. I don't know, there's something about their mind. They're like, oh yeah, I understand. It's not enough to say, it's coming from me, but it's still real. You should say, it's real because it's coming from me. If it wasn't coming from me, it couldn't be there. And they just get it right away. It's weird, you know? And they stop saying, but it's still real. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Anyway, but that's the translation. Dun Dampa Mekyang means even though they are not real, Gyumat Tabur She, they exist in the form of an illusion, Maya. Okay? Does the glass of water exist? Yes. But in the way of an illusion. So what do you mean? It's not what it seems to be. Okay? What does it seem to be? Someone had to go over there. I got water because Anatole, who was nice to me? Yeah. Somebody was nice to me and went and got me some water and brought it here. Is that why I got the water? No, I gave water to someone else in the past. Okay? They are just the instrument of my karma. They are just the delivery system. I sent a letter to myself. They brought it. Got it? I mailed a letter to my own house, and it came after 3 days, or where I live, a week, and the postman who brought it, you can't credit them with sending the letter. They're just the deliverer. Okay? The illusion is that they're giving me the water. Who's giving me the water? I am, which is most helpful with negative things. Who brought the unpleasant, I almost used a bad word, unpleasant person into my life? I did. Okay? All right, that's all. But there's an illusion there. It seems that they don't like me. You don't like me. No, I do like you. No, you don't like me. No, I do like you. Why do you think I don't like you? Because you mailed yourself a bad letter. Okay, don't blame me. I'm the postman. You're the one who mailed the package of poop or something. Don't blame me. I'm just delivering it. I get paid to deliver it, but I don't think I don't like you. I don't care. I'm just getting paid. Okay, so, okay? Okay. Dabashini. Sangiki sangoi, sangiki jisi ongoing. Okay, so, with that appreciation of where things come from, you send your good deed into the future, your own enlightenment, future Buddha, okay? Having a successful film is good, but why not go for Buddhahood? Are they contradictory? Is it wrong to wish that you're going to have a successful movie opening? Does that somehow damage your wish to be a Buddha? Is it evil to want to have a successful movie opening? And does that hurt your coming Buddhahood? No. If you have the right frame of mind, it can support your coming Buddhahood. I want my film to help people. I want it to affect people. I want it to enlighten them. And then that becomes a cause for enlightenment. Okay? That's all. Don't stop at the movie. But do include the movie. Don't think it's selfish to want to have a successful release. That's not selfish if you want it to help people. Okay. Number 9? Number 9. Korwe gyurmi ngowe. Dupe kamla sope kamsum de topa mayimbe ngoad. Yeah. Always throw in something that's not in the 3 realms. Okay? Always throw in a little bit of motivation which is beyond the 3 realms. Okay? 3 realms means, in our case, desire realm. I felt during the dance today, I don't know about you, I felt something transcendent. Maybe I'm just exaggerating as usual, but I had a little touch of something happen to me. My first grade teacher made me do what she made us do today. I remember in a cathedral. She took all the children into this huge cathedral and she left and she said, dance till I get back. And then I was like, wow, I'm back. I made it back. And I had this transcendent moment, so don't let it be normal. Don't let your life be normal. Like, dedicate it to something beyond eating. Dope kam. What kama datu? The desire realm. It's eating and sex. So don't let it end there. Let it be, those are good things, but let it be something that and higher. Let it be both, let it be beyond the world, let it be something beyond the world, okay? In what you're dreaming for. Okay. Number 10. Tongsum ki semjen tamje gewa chula kupe. Now 10, 11, and 12 come together in the text. If you look at the text of the Abhisamankara, 10, 11, 12 come together. They are considered a lesser, a medium, and a greater form of dedication. So they kind of go together, 10, 11, and 12. Number 10 is a dedication which is equal to the virtue of leading everyone in the universe to the 10 virtues, okay? In a DCI tour, let's say we were in Russia, right? We've been in Russia a lot. These guys have been doing their own tours of Russia. I don't go. They're going to 6 or 7 Russian cities and training 40,000 people in a bank, in a large bank and petroleum corporation. So I don't even go. They just go and do it on their own, right? And you'd be up there in front of like 60 high officials of a banking system in a particular province, a state of Russia. And then they start going off on 10 virtues. You know, they're like, is it good to kill people? And they're like, you know, and then we're like, no. And they're like, why not? And you're like, because, you know, then somebody will kill you 5 times. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then it's kind of cool to be in a situation of teaching someone basic morality that they never heard of. You know, they never had anyone tell them it's wrong to steal something, or that it's wrong to fool around with someone else's wife or husband. They never heard someone say that. We take it for granted because we grew up in a semi-religious country or something. You know, we got some church stuff, and then we got moral teachings in grade school and stuff, but they never had anything like that, ever. And here, the first time someone's telling them it's not a good idea to... I was approached in St. Petersburg in the airport by a guy who gave me his business card and offered to kill anybody I wanted for $75. Okay? And this was a few years back. But imagine that. Then imagine the good karma of going to a place like that and saying, you know, it doesn't work to kill people around you. I mean, in the short term it works out, but in the long term it's not a solution. You know what I mean? And they're struggling with this idea, and it's such a fulfilling, what do you call that? You feel so, to teach somebody that, you feel like Moses with the tablets, you know? And you're like, no, I mean, you are. At that moment you are, you know, and you're like, look, it's wrong to kill people. And they're like, why? And you think, because then somebody will kill you. And they're like, oh yeah. And then, so imagine the karma of doing that to billions of people. Imagine the karma of teaching billions of people not to hurt each other, okay, who didn't think about that. That's the power. That's a certain level of good karma that you can get by dedicating small things that you do. Okay, you can get the amount of karma of teaching the tablets to 1 billion people by dedicating small good things that you do properly. Got it? That's called lesser dedication. So what would medium be? Number 11. Gyunda Shupa Lakopeding. The karma of triggering the direct perception of emptiness in another person. Imagine what it would be like to collect that kind of karma, to trigger the end of suffering forever for that person in their mind. If you could do it, if through your teaching and your efforts and, you know, your kitchens and stuff, you could trigger, which is the purpose of that kitchen, right? That's the whole purpose of those things. Building Diamond Mountain is for the purpose of triggering that perception in a person's mind. Suppose you did that for 1 billion people. Okay, a well-done dedication is equal in power to that. That's number 11. Got it? That's higher than teaching them not to hurt each other. Okay, right? What's higher than that? Let's go to number 12. Sangiki Lamla Kope Sinam. Teach them. Okay? Teach them. Get them on the path. Just get them started on the path. Have an event in Mexico City. Get 10 new people started. You know, then that's more powerful than the other two. Okay? And to dedicate your good deeds skillfully is more powerful than that. Okay? That's cool. That's really cool. You guys just think you were having a good time, or we're going to have a little music, or I want to get those. I want to take the flamenco dancers to Beijing. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to fund that. I mean, we just enjoy doing those tours, and we enjoy making events like this, and we enjoy working on them. We get tired, we get cranky, we get broke, but we enjoy it, you know. But what's happening is, what's really happening, the repercussions of what you're doing are extraordinary, you know. Like, you could live in a whole different world because you fought with the cook at the retreat. You see what I mean? I mean, in a good way. You convinced them to cook something tasty and healthy, which they're not used to. That deed is going to move mountains. It's going to shift universes. It's going to alter reality. And you got to think about it sometimes. Because when you hit it, you'll appreciate it. When you hit the altered reality, you'll be saying, God damn, he was really true. That was all true, like there'll come a day, mark my words, that you will say, I'm so glad he told us to do the healthy food, because now I have a star named after me. Or, something weird will happen. And you'll say, oh, that's because back in 013 on Earth, I hassled with the cook to cook something better for the people. Okay? All right? Got it? Whew. We got like 5 more minutes. I want to take you back to the text just so you get there. Please scroll down to, let me see. How about Grags? Grags. Truck. Good. We're coming back to the Lamrim. Okay? This whole thing this morning and today in the afternoon was a detour. And because I like to do that. I like to give you cooler stuff. That's something, I enjoy that immensely. So we're back to the book. Okay? Here it is. Gewa dzogchan tu ngwa chir yongdak ta gewa de shendun de dzogchan tope gyur gyur chik nyamba de yang yin mu. Gewa dzogchan tu ngwa chir yongdak. Those of you who are learning Tibetan, yongdak means the way we usually do it, or the way that everybody knows about. Tar, you can dedicate your virtues, you can dedicate your good deeds to general, fuzzy, vague goodness. Gewa di, gewa kun sunamishi tsotoshin, sunamishi nechin wei damba kuni tombasho. You can do that. General prayers that good stuff happens from your good karma. Shendu de zokshan topjan. You can dedicate it to the goals of bodhicitta. What are the goals of bodhicitta? What are they? Yeah, I want to be a Buddha. I want to become a Buddha so I can help other people. Okay, that's all. Those 2 goals. I want to become a Buddha so I can help other people. Okay. Shenden Dzogchen Tobe Gyurgyur Chik Nyampa. I admit, yin mu at the end means I agree that that's a dedication. You can do the dedication like that. That's okay. But, okay, Rangre Getsa de Senchen Tanje de Tumando Chete. Wouldn't it be nicer if we took our karma, our good karma, mixed it with all the good karma of every other normal person on the planet, and Gyawanam Gishenden Gyachet Zebe Getsa, Semishep in Nanda Sepatawam, and threw it in the ocean of all the good karma of all the good enlightened beings in the universe. Okay? So he's kind of expanded what we said before. Don't send the karma off to some vague, unspecified location. What do they call that? I used to get letters in India. Post. What do they call it? Yeah, but what's the English? General delivery. Don't send your karma to general delivery. Like, put it in the ocean of all the good karmas of all the enlightened beings. And dump in all your friends' good karma too. Okay, got it? Like, don't just settle for your little karma. Don't pour your little glass of water into the ocean. Call all your friends and say, tell me all the good stuff you've done. And then take all that and throw it in the ocean and protect it also. Got it? So he says, wouldn't that be more cool? That's what he's saying here in the Tibetan. Say tabwam. Shenden zepe chaken de pute. De la tene drokun chanju la gope gyur mumba nende che. Very important. After you dump it into the ocean, say, may it help all beings become enlightened. Okay, that's all. Okay, dedicate the ocean to other people. Okay, Nick's gonna give some. Let's do a dedication first. Okay. Osiris. Let's go. Concentrate. Puki Joshi Metotam Rira Mingshi Ninde Gempadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwagi Roku Namda Shina Chepasho Idang Guru Randa Mandala Kamneyatayami Dikewogan Sanam Yeshe Tsotsokshin Sanam Yeshe Nechuhe Dambakuni Topasham. Okay, cool. Big bang, big bang.